We're going to make a little chest rig. A guy asked for a 6-column Pals Micro. I don't think I can sell a 6-column Pals Micro, but what I am going to build is a 6-column kind of Pals Micro. It's not going to have the internal pocket or any of that. It's going to be a lot slimmer because the application is to attach it right here on the padded suspender set. So that's what we're going to build right now. I've not played with it at all. Should be very straightforward. I'm not sure what other applications it will have, but that is what we're building right now. It's just a little placard that will go here with Pals. Obviously, if you're wearing that here, you would adjust your sternum strap down or not even wear the sternum strap. And then the question is, how do you clip it into this once you put the system on, once you put your belt kit and everything on? How do you put that in place and still have it tight? So that's what we're going to play with right now. So they make these, you can still get them, but they're thicker and they're shorter. The T-pin that's been around my entire life, just push past him. The T-pin that's been around my entire life, like those don't exist anymore. We order them off Amazon. They don't have them. The ones at the fabric stores are different. We used to be able to get these at Walmart. You can get these big ones, or you can get some that are like a third shorter, and they're fat, and they won't just pin into the webbing properly.
Yeah, those are really thick.
The others are too thick. These ones slide right in perfectly. So when we get all of our rolls of webbing, we always save the T-pin. I don't know where they're getting them from, but we always save them. All right, so we're just going to take, and then the other question is, do we build this lower profile? They can still have the 3 columns. Everything will still attach stable. And then if you put smaller stuff, you have more open air. So maybe we'll just build this to where it's 5 inches tall and 10.5 across. Maybe that's what we'll start with, I think. And then do we want this dead space? So we got a 1/2 inch, and then I'll have a 1/2 inch if we do edge tape. I think we'll fold it in, make it clean, because we're going to need all that room to be able to cinch that thing down tightly. So I think the answer is 10.5. We'll see how much pull we get out of that. We'll just make the panel 10.5. And I think we'll do it right at 5. Now, are we going to have shrinkage out of this? I guess we're about to find out.
So the pocket, yeah, you're not doing the pocket, right?
I don't think
Gotcha.
so. Because even while it's going to be thinner, it is thinner. But once you put your pouches on there, let's say you put 3 M4 mags on there, that's going to be rigid enough. It's going to lock in, I think, plenty tight. Now, I'm going to try to run the attachment points between the pals, but it might not give us enough stability. But it's going to be against your chest. There's really nowhere it can go. So,
and if there's the four buckles that just hold it in.
Well, you figure, I'm not a big guy. I'm 5'8", maybe 180. And if this sits here like this, I have, there's 7 inches right there. If we're making this thing 10.5, it's still not going to work. And to get 6 columns, that's 1 mag, 2 mags, 3 mags, 9. Okay, no, my math's off. I'm throwing an extra column in there. So let's try to put it at 9. I'm sure somebody, when I said 10.5, I'm sure somebody who knows was like, what's he fucking talking about? Even there, 9, right?
Yeah.
So you might have to run your stuff outboard more a little, run your belt attachment so it pulls the straps out a little bit. But that's why I put this extra column of pals here, this vertical, was with the idea of being able to tie in. So we'll see. I don't know. I've had some super good ideas in the past. And then as soon as we started building it, we're like, there's no way this will work.
But all we gotta do is have one work.
Or you just send it to a bunch of people and they make it work. Not change the build. You just give it to them and they're like, yeah, this works. Five by 9, 10, 11. We're going to sew that seam under, so we'll go 9. We'll just make it 1 inch, so we'll go 11 and 7. Because production will be able to do that. If we do it at 1/2 inch seam, some of them won't be able to consistently do it clean. That piece is good enough. Get you a square that's metal, like this one. Because it sets, it doesn't move as much. It's heavier. You'll see these, and you'll see metal ones, you'll see aluminum ones. They look the same. Get a heavy one. That little guy, don't worry about that little guy. Because we're going to sew it 1 inch under. We're going to sew all the perimeter 1 inch. So that 11 will become 9, and that 7 will become 5. Then we need 3 pieces of pals.
Is this the new shirt?
That's the mystery shirt. It's the Scooby-Doo mystery machine. Isaac, that was actually his idea.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no bullshit. It was Isaac's idea. First,
So does he get a penny for every
it's the
sale?
first good idea he's had. A penny for every sale?
Yep.
Yes.
That would be deserved.
Times 1 penny times 450.
Perfect. That's one of his favorite candy bars, an Almond Joy.
Whose?
That's Isaac's.
Are you messing with me?
I don't think so. Where's he at? Oh.
He's over there gaying it up.
I have a weird memory. I could have dreamed it. It could have been a fever dream.
A fever dream.
But I'm pretty sure he loves Almond Joy.
Because Almond Joy got nuts.
I think so.
Mounds don't.
Yeah, it's usually 2 big nuts in the side of them.
He's into balls, not titties. I've bought every pencil sharpener there is. And none of them, they all work. They just, the lead doesn't stay as well as just using a razor blade.
Yeah, I've spent $200 on one before.
I'm gonna go start buying all the old time antique pencil sharpeners.
Way better.
They're fucking, there's some wild ones too, man.
Way better just to get a spool and that rotates.
Yeah, we have one bolted to the table over there. And it'll do the different sizes of pencils. All right, this should take about 2 minutes to sew.
Don't say that.
Why?
Something's gonna happen.
Nah. It's gonna take longer to collect all the stuff than sew it. This light here like this.
You can put it anywhere you want, but you like to put it right where the other lights are.
Do I? Is that? That's
like-
what's. I have so much glare coming off the needle. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But I need it there sometimes and other times not. All right. So we're just gonna Do this with no edge tape. Look, Mom, no hands. Do you know that song, I Can Ride Your Mom with No Handlebars? No handlebars. You know that song?
I know the song.
Huh?
I know the song.
How about that song, Going the Distance?
By Cake?
Yeah, that's a fucking great song.
I loved that album when I was a kid.
I made a lot of gear to that shit. That and The Offspring.
Yeah. Smash and Extreme Hombre, Offspring.
Now I'm doing this. You might find, here's what I'm talking about. I'll show you on the next one. This one I just sewed right to where I was going to get to the next piece and folded it. You might find that it's a lot flatter, or if you're doing a bunch of these in chain, it's a lot quicker to just do them this way, right? So sew it along. Rather than folding it before you're there, go ahead and tack it down. Rather than sewing and folding, you will find that it's raining. It's flatter to sew it all the way and then come in, make your fold. Sew it there. You also might find that it's even flatter for you or easier. Where I didn't sew this piece down, you might find it's a lot easier for you, especially when you're starting out, to tack all that down like that there. Now you can also go around and tack this perimeter down, but I don't think we're going to need to right here. Now I'm going to get this corner completely lined up, and I'm going to start then I'm going to tack back to the edge there, rather than starting right at the corner because it's going to want to shift. And then this one lines up perfectly because of my calibrated eye when I cut it. And then this one here, you can see it's probably a little longer on the top. So what I'm going to do here is get this past all this bulk here. And then I'm going to pull tension on the bottom one. And there it is. It's almost right there. Another couple stitches. Now it's perfect. This bottom one here is a little tiny bit shorter. Couple stitches. Now it's perfect. And then these two together, I'm just going to pull tension on them. And there we go. Now it's a little pillowy. Not bad. But when you're learning to do this, before you put your pals on all of this, you could take this and just quilt it, right? You could come right through the middle, put it in quarters, and then step over and put a grid in it. Just use the edge of a ruler or something and just go the width of the ruler, which I don't have here. Let me go get a ruler. I swear these razor blades go dull just sitting out in the air. I've cut nothing with this thing but a couple of pencils. and it's already dull.
I feel like I used to be able to just look at a razor blade and it'd get cut.
Yeah. Yeah, and you take them out of those packages of 100 and they're coated in oil.
Yeah.
But I swear, as soon as you as the oil comes off, the air just oxidizes them or something. It just dulls them.
Just leave them in a bucket of oil.
Well, I think it's on purpose, so that you just buy more of them. You use more of those hundreds, you know.
Yeah.
If you get a proper ruler, most of them won't do this, but if you get a ruler that's 1.5 inches wide, when you make your mark, if you just come back on your mark a little bit and make your next mark, it'll grid out perfectly at 1.5 inches. So 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, and then the edge. If you can't find a ruler, or you just don't, if you like a metal ruler or something and they're not exactly 1.5 inches, take you a piece of Kydex or plastic or wood or fiberglass or plexiglass, whatever, and just make you a gauge. So if you make a bunch of gauges that are 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 3 inches, whatever, that you'll find that you don't have to cut a ton of shit. You don't have to measure and connect dots and shit if you just make gauges and patterns, templates. All right, we know that's the center. Here's a gauge here. This is what I'll use for marking my pals. There are guys that sell those too. There's guys that sell like raw goods for tactical gear and stuff, and they do a pals grid. Like they'll have a template with measurements all over it, and you just stick it on and you just, mark through your cuts, and it'll build a beautiful pals field for you. None of that shit existed when I started doing this, so I just do it the old school way. If you learn from the beginning, though, with newer equipment, like we bought automated machines. I had machines that would tack and back tack, and when you started sewing, it would sew forward 2 stitches and then back up 2 stitches and then move forward. It would clip, it would, auto trim, everything. I was way slower. I fucked around on that machine for 2 weeks, every day, hours a day. And I was still faster on these older fucking machines. And most of the girls agreed. They turned all that shit off on those machines.
Almost like a new car. It breaks down more than an old car.
Yeah. Mine doesn't, but a newer used car probably does. Like we've had really good luck. We say shit like that, right? We've had good luck. No, you've had how it should be when you buy a new car. But the Toyotas have been great, right? We haven't had any problems. I'm sure you can find a dude, or there's going to be a dude commenting like, I had a Toyota with nothing but problems. But our Toyotas have been very good. You've had some weird shit happen. What do you have? What's that thing you drive?
Honda.
And Hondas are known for reliability,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we've never had any problems with the engine. Anything like that. It's just been that window and tire stuff.
Yeah, what happened with the window? I remember I was standing there and it just fucking fell out. It shattered.
That was the heat sensor throughout the window, heats it to defrost it.
Yeah, my Range Rover had that shit.
Yeah, and it couldn't stop from overheating. It would get too hot and smash the window.
I remember saran wrapping your window, and it was storming like crazy too. Man, it was fucking pouring rain, snowing and shit. And that fucking whole back windscreen fell out of your car. We saran wrapped that whole thing with that packing stuff.
It stayed like that for 3 days.
It worked good, man. All right. I know this one here, I probably need to add like a 1/16 of an inch. I'm a little high here, but this is still going to work. So I'm going to start this from here because I know this one's perfect. But that one sticks off the edge a little bit. So I'm going to Just get these in here. And then I'm going to turn the work around. I don't want to sew back because it'll pucker it up a little bit. So I'm just going to use this gauge here, set that in there. And I don't want to start from the top and shift it down because it'll kind of like crunch it up a little bit. I'm going to start in the middle here, tack that in there good, and then travel across here just so it looks the same. It doesn't actually need that travel across. It's just a lot faster to do that when you're setting pals like this than to do it without. If you look at a lot of my custom stuff, I sew the pals webbing, but I don't sew in between. You don't have that travel, especially like on contrasting thread when I do really expensive shit, like custom bags and stuff. Is this the last week of the month? We got one more.
I think there's one more.
Is this the last weekend of the month?
Yes, the last weekend of the month. And it ends next Thursday.
Got it. I asked because there's the last weekend of every month, there's a flea market at Nashville.
That is this weekend.
And I haven't quite figured it out. Sometimes you go and you're like, man, this is lame. And then other times you go and you're like, man, everything's here.
Is it the one at the fairground?
Yeah. The new fair. I say new fairgrounds. That motherfucker's been there for, what, 6 years now, probably. You know what? We're going to sew this one here. I have no idea how we're going to make this work.
I was going to say, how's the attachment?
That's what I have no idea how we're going to do that. I'm already thinking in my head like 550 cord. You know, like that won't work. Webbing, but it'll be too fat. It'll take too long to put it on, right? So if we sewed a tri-glide with a taggable webbing, you could run the webbing through and kind of triangulate it, right? You could kick them out a little to the pals, run it back. That takes too long. It's going to have to be a fast tex buckle of some kind. Maybe snap in, adjust it for tension and have a snap maybe. Guys are already putting fupas on there, so.
How are they attaching that? Just with...
Instead of putting the shoulder strap kit on there, they take the buckles and basically put a buckle on their sternum strap on their backpack and rig it on there.
Gotcha.
And it uses the clips. Hear that?
Mm-hmm.
The starlings are up in the corner of that building, in like the fascia, not in the gutters, but like that trim on the corner. Yeah. They're up in there, and they have a nest. You can hear the babies. I need a small weasel that'll get up there and eat them.
Don't starlings like attack every bird?
I don't know about that, but man, they're always causing problems. They put all that debris up in the gutters. And again, I'm not going to start at the top because it's going to push it down. I have it set right where I want. I'm going to start in the center and then back tack there. We used to do something like this that had Velcro on the back, and you would just order it and put in notes what size you wanted, and they'd be like, I want 5 pals wide by 3 pals tall, but it got to be such a fucking hassle because you never knew. You'd build this, but they're like, I wanted a dead space here, and like you never knew. It was always a problem, so we stopped doing those.
That's the only way around that would be like to give options like A, B, C, D. These are the
Yeah, and it never was. We never sold enough of them that it was worth doing. So we couldn't stock them, you know. We always had to build them. So those were always dudes like, hey, where's my order? The fuck do you want?
The OD we've been using. This is my last bit of it. We have a lot of rolls of this. Can I use this?
What do you mean we have a lot of rolls of it? Where's this at? No, this isn't even the same webbing.
Okay.
No, you can't mix these. What's the product?
Pals Micro Rigs.
You could put, have you already cut all your pals?
No.
Put this for your pals, and that'll be fine. If the whole, all of the pals is that, you'll be fine. Hey.
Yes.
Good question.
Good question.
Yeah. I gave him a raise yesterday.
What do you do to earn it?
He just does a good job. He actually does a very good job. And then this morning I took it away from him.
Are you serious?
No.
That would have been amazing.
I'm to the point where when I give people raises, I'm like, I will give you a lowering if you don't continue to perform. If you come in and you have bad days, I'm gonna put you back where you were.
Give him the raise at like 6 when he's walking out of here, and then at 8 a.m. be like, hey man, sorry, I'm gonna have to stop.
Like there's times where we've just done like such incredible sales, like we had tons and tons of revenue over the years, you know. So I'll be like, I'd go through the shop and give everybody a $2 an hour raise, and then after a couple of weeks, you're like, why the fuck did I do that? You know, that's like 80 grand a year.
Yeah.
And 80, 90, 100 grand a year. And you don't get anything for it. Like some of them actually go backwards, you know? So I've just stopped doing that, like across the board kind of shit.
Just look at the people in there that are actually making stuff. And
Yeah.
ever done that with your needle kind of down and smacked it and chipped it off or anything?
Done what?
With the scissors like that? When you're pulling it? Like
Oh
you pull
no,
it through?
no, you ain't gonna fuck that needle up with the scissors. No. I mean, I'm sure I have somebody out there that will do something like that somehow. Every time I say that can't happen, I am quickly proven wrong when I walk into the other room. I don't know what happened. I've never seen, like, you have broken Excalibur. All right, so now we have this. I guess I didn't bring the shoulder straps out here. How do we attach this to that, right? Let's go get it and look. So how do we get so this is where this would sit on me. And how do we get this onto here? We only have this bar to attach to and this bar. And if you get a dude skinnier, I'm not sure how we're going to do that. So the question is, this is basically what they're going to put on here, this or something like this, right? So we're going to attach this right here, covering all of this. So we can't really bring this inboard because this has to be able to come on and off of here. When you undo this, this is going to kind of work as your sternum strap. It has to be quick to come on and off. So when we add a buckle, we add almost 3 inches. You're at 2 3/4 adding this. We don't have 2 3/4 of give to add this. So we could run this sewn captive like this, and then it would adjust around this to the outside, but that takes too long. You can't get in and out of this. So I'm kind of back to, a dude asked for this last night or a couple nights ago on the live feed, something like this. And then dudes were like, yeah, I want to be able to put something on my sternum, on my shoulder straps on the jungle rig. I don't have a piece of hardware that does it. We just don't, like, while you put this here and it looks like it fits, you don't have a way to put it on and off quickly. So I don't know how we're going to do it. So even if we go to a 3/4 buckle,
It still adds 2 inches.
still adds almost, yeah, it still adds 2 inches. So you gain a 1/4 inch. Like, it still doesn't fucking work. Are we recording?
Yep.
All right. All right, so far best we have. It's not going to work on skinny dudes. I've got these push through, I don't even know what these are called, these surface mount buckles. They're actually for, you burn 4 holes through Cordura and they lock in place. You'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. The panel will lock in here. Webbing will come out of here from underneath. Buckle will clip in. Ideally, you'd put it here and here so it kind of triangulates, pulls in 4 opposite directions. Webbing down, webbing up. It'll hold 3 mags perfectly, or a admin panel or something. But we're still not sure. I'm going to put webbing on here. We're going to clip it in, but I'm not sure how to secure it and dominate that webbing, so we'll mess with that next. All right, so we're going to try this. It's a lot of bulk. What do we got here? We got
6.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But there's more there. 5, 6, 7, 8 in the corner. 9, 10, 11, 12. Might be thinner just to use edge tape. I should not be sewing this backwards. What the fuck is it catching on? There we go. So we'll sew these on and they'll kind of pull, but we might want to figure out some way to put these on to where these can rotate and pivot. So we use a grommet or some kind of piece of hardware that'll hold that in, an eyelet or something. we're not there yet. There's your rain you were asking about.
Yeah.
And we're making the straps long because there's a question of, once we clip this in, how do we keep this in place? And I thought that we could just use one wrap on here. Once you kind of have it where you want it, you could roll it up and Velcro it in place. But looking at it now, it's got to stand off at least an inch or so for that to work, which means this is definitely not working on, you know, small, skinny guys. At least not with 6 columns, it's not. We could probably go down to 5, but you're not going to get 3 mags across at 5 columns. You could get 4 in a pistol, or use it for ATAC, or use it for, you know, admin or something. That ain't gonna fucking work. Maybe if we bring that up and we pull this one all the way, but like this rig sitting on, this is my rig. The way I have it adjusted, it's already on my back. It's across my shoulder right now. It's rubbing my neck. So I need to bring it even more, like Jeff was wearing it the other day. But I have nowhere else to go with it. Like, this isn't even gonna work on me.
I mean, like, this is good for me. Maybe a little bit even closer, but like, this is way too big. Like,
But it wouldn't work with you if you didn't have the hoodie on.
yeah, for sure. You wouldn't want it up much higher.
It has to go higher.
Because even higher like that, you're already sitting.
Like, this has to lock in here so that we can lock this one in here.
Yeah.
And this bounces around. All right. We've gone away from these. There might be some trick to take them off, but prying them off with a screwdriver is not the way, because it breaks the tabs off of them. So those are unusable or unreusable. But we've gone to a repair buckle on the outboard up higher than you think you need it. So there's that. And it's going to have to pull, kind of triangulate, pull in 4 different directions in an X, which maybe, even with this one, it's probably not going to be tight. And then it's pulling the webbing at a weird angle here. So I think we're going to unstitch this pals, put this in with a rivet, which will actually be a snap with a washer, a cap or something, so it can't pull through the Cordura. So that'll be under there, but it'll allow this to pivot, and then I'll sew that piece of webbing back in place, this pals here.
And
That'll
have to be on the same on the bottom.
all 4 of them. We're going to do that on all 4. We'll do that right now. No, we can't. My chair's out here. Man, imagine if I had 2 chairs. I actually have 3, but you buy the exact same chair, and when you take them out of the box, they are 3 different chairs. This one has a short base, so my back actually touches the base. The other one, even though it was the exact same part number, when you took it out of the box, that one is way more comfortable, but the base is deeper, so your back doesn't actually fucking touch the back pad. So I'm currently using the shittier chair. And I know, you're like, well, why don't you just change them? Well, you would think that you could, but you cannot. Man, that shit was just barely stitched on there anyways.
From going through all that material.
Yeah, just from, it's just not locking real well. All right, we're gonna remove those. And then we're going to take these pals off of here. Let's do these in the opposite direction so I'm not slicing my finger meat. That's what we need access to right here. We're going to burn a hole through here. And we're going to take this, fold it through double layer. We're going to burn a hole through that. And then we're going to attach this with metal hardware to where it will pivot. I don't have the correct hardware, but I have some hardware I think I can make work until we have something else. There's the other one. If you don't pick all that thread out of there, when you go to sew, it'll be all tangled up in the new thread that you do put down.
So will that pal's even be stitched in like that, or will it be?
Oh, it will. I'm just exposing this because we need to drive
Got it.
a hole through behind there. I'm not even 100% that this is going to work right, so I guess we're about to find out. A lot of walking back and forth, but it's a lot quieter out here. come up. Every time I come, I check all of these to make sure they're not on.
By grabbing them.
Sometimes they are on. Well, I'm confident that it's not, so I'm okay to test it. Usually I'll just go like this. 240, 250, 280, 300, right about 700 is where you want this thing at, because they wear out. It used to do it at like 450. You could punch holes, but so what I'm thinking is we're going to double this over. On the final ones, we'll probably sew them, but we're going to double this over, and we're going to affix it in this manner. But we need to be able to put it on without that pals being there first. So put that right there. 750. Get that cord out of the way. It'd be cool if they made these with burn-proof cords. Not quite sure how big we want this. Probably just enough for the post of a snap. We'll start with that. See if you're using these and it seems like it's not burning as fast, get the molten lava off of there. You can see it accumulates pretty quickly. But when you scrape the tip off, they heat up way, way faster. And when you're buying soldering irons, spend the 80, 100 bucks, 200 bucks, whatever it is, get a Weller one. Get a soldering station, not just a soldering iron. You will save yourself tons and tons of time. All right, let's see how we can fix this. I don't quite have the washer that I would want to use on this. The grommet. That's all I have right here. I'm going to try a grommet and see. It'll probably hold. We'll put that there. We will put this here first. Put that down. I don't know if it's going to go through this bulk. It might. We might be able to get it through there. Get your finger meat out of there. Once you push the sucker down, it will cut off. It'll cut it. Nope, not big enough. The post isn't. We'll have to order some different ones. You can get different shank sizes. So that's what I would prefer, is to use that. But we can definitely, for right now, we can get it to test at least with this. I think this shank will go through. I've got some longer posts somewhere. What do I need? Face up. Yeah, we'll put the snap in top here, so it'll lock in. You won't ever feel it. Which way do I need this to go? That motherfucker's not. It's not.
I'm not even snapping on that one.
Nope. It's trying to, but it won't pivot once we. Yeah, it's pulling right off. It's not long
It's just
enough.
gonna be so tight that it won't even turn.
Yeah. But we could make it. We could get it to work. I know I have some longer posts. I'm just not sure. That one's still good. Where are those posts at? I think these are standard shanks. We might be able to just put this cap on there. This has this reset in here. We might be able to make them catch with this. Where's that hole at? We could also take a thickness of this webbing out of here to at least get it to lock. Nope. Man, it's just not having it. All right, back to, we're just going to sew it. We'll just kick them out at an angle. That'll at least prove it a little. We'll be able to kind of prove the concept of it that way. We'll put them back at an angle. I'll have to find those longer posts. We could also use a screw of some kind. A Chicago screw would do it probably. They're a outside shank. It's basically a screw that screws into a post, you know?
Okay, so like an internal threaded post.
Uh-huh. Yeah. We could get them up at the Fastenal wall up the road probably. But we can test it with we'll kick them out at the corners. Well, we've learned a lot of stuff that's not going to work. We're going to kick these out at an angle. The snaps and grommets we have won't pierce the thickness of this. We could do a screw of some sort, but inevitably they're going to lose that somehow. A part of it, you know, if it comes apart. I don't know, maybe once we get it set where it actually works, maybe we just Loctite them in place. But the whole reason we're making those pivot is so that they'll kick out at this angle. So we'll just sew them on to kind of test it.
Because again, if it only works even like this with my size, it's like it's still too big.
Well, it's just not going to work for small dudes.
Yeah.
Or they're going to have to get a smaller piece. I mean, there's just get bigger. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Fucking
that's it.
get bigger. Wear body armor. I don't like this thickness. I might just hot knife this off. I'm going to go ahead and sew it back in, but it's fucking really thick right here. Just cut that thread. And I cannot see shit right here.
You do it again.
Yeah. The machine's got a burr or something down there somewhere. And just kicking through that thickness, it's letting the needle deviate. It's deviating the needle, so it's catching that burr a little more. You figure just this right here, right? This is a piece of webbing folded under plus edge tape. So folded, that's 6 layers of material. There's 8 layers of material right here in the corner. So it'll do it. It just doesn't want to do it. It's like your girlfriend until you get her trained.
Do you think we jinxed ourselves earlier?
How so?
When we were like, this will be super simple.
I don't recall ever saying super simple.
I recall.
I don't think those words.
I recall us going, this will only take a minute. This will be easy.
To build this.
Yeah.
I said that. Like, I don't know how we're going to attach it.
Be very interested to see the comments of every single human saying, no, this is how you do it. This is how you do it.
And while most of them are wrong,
There may be
one of those, or even 3 wrong guys, there'll be a component out of each of them that'll trigger the right answer. The good idea fairies. But most of the good idea fairies don't watch any of this shit. You never know. If we put it out on Reddit,
It'll just be Isaac comment.
all the weirdos will show up. Those birds are back. You can hear those babies going crazy. We need to get up there and kill them.
Need a falcon.
I think I do need a falcon. I 100% agree with you. A lot of cities, it might be state regulation, but a lot of cities, you'll have pigeons get in your warehouses and shit, and it's illegal to disturb their nests. Like, can you imagine that shit? That's like having fucking rats get in your shit, and it's illegal to kill those. The point is, just remain silent and do what you need to do and be quiet about it.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in the mafia every time I throw away something at a dump. I'm like, that was electric panels.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine how it is in California, but you're supposed to take all your old light bulbs and batteries to like Home Depot and shit and throw them away. They have it at their recycling thing. You weren't allowed to put it in your trash. And we had 3, even back then, 20 years ago, we had a green trash can, a blue trash can, and a black trash can. Garbage went in black. Anything paper, plastic, or glass was supposed to go in the blue, and any yard waste or compostable shit was supposed to go in the green. So they're doing all this bullshit, and then they fucking showed that at the dumps, none of it was actually being separated. It was all just going to the exact same place. Yeah. All right, we can see how this works now. We're a little closer.
You aware of the band called Pearl Jam?
Yeah, it's fucking a terrible band. Don't they make people, a lot of people that listen to that suicide themselves. Pearl Jam, it's right up.
Self-delete.
Pearl Jam's right up there with Nirvana. Isn't that another shitty Seattle band?
I think so. I think they are.
Yeah, so why the fuck are you asking me about them? Are you thinking about killing yourself?
No.
That's weird. You finally get a little pussy and now you want to listen to Nirvana.
Listened to Nirvana for a long time.
That's why you got no pussy.
I like Nirvana because I like Dave Grohl. not because
You
I
like Nirvana because you like fucking boys and heroin.
No holding back.
You've been lied to all your life.
John Lewis will tell you how it is.
You've been lied to all your life. It's time somebody tell you the truth. All those trophies you have, it's not because you were first place.
He's right.
I know.
He's right.
I'm always right. If you ever want a first place trophy, you better fucking create something that nobody else competes in. All right, put it on. He's too small.
Wow.
You are. Watch. You'll see in a second. All right. Clippy clip.
Oh, it's clippy clip.
I am terrible at videoing on this fucking thing. Go back to a real camera where I can see what the fuck's going on.
I mean, that does work.
Yeah, it's better.
On me, it feels great.
It's better. Now these, we will roll up and one wrap. So they'll just kind of kick to the side right here, which will also keep them from loosening up. And then they'll still have some adjustment on bigger dudes. And then you got 3. That's still fucking high though. It's gonna choke you when we put 3 mags on it. And now it's on the back of your neck.
Close.
I can see it's on there. You just don't.
Hoodie.
Yeah.
I've got about.
Okay, so you can only use this rig if you wear a hoodie or body armor.
Yeah, hoodie, and you're 230 pounds.
What do you weigh? 115?
175, 180.
There's no fucking way. I'm 180.
I'm like 175.
Yeah, but you're that kind of guy that goes to the
I'm
gym.
180 when I'm heavy. I'm 180. I'm probably 175 right now.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Go take a shit. Let's see what you weigh.
No, I promise you, he's the dude that goes to the gym and steps on the scale with full clothes on, full backpack, full shorts, and he's like, "Yep, 180. I'm gaining weight." No,
All right,
you're 160.
come put this on. The Strangler 5000.
So is this replacing the sternum strap?
It would have to, yeah. Because it has to go where the sternum strap, you have to run it all the way low. Like small dudes can't fucking clip your belt. Here, you do this. You're better at it. I can't even see that screen. All the screen tells me, I don't even know if I'm recording.
It's not going to work for small guys. It pulls it together.
Yeah, and there's a lot of dudes smaller than you.
Which I don't even see. That's a possibility.
Yeah, it needs to be. It really needs to be out here.
We know. We're aware.
You're going to have to take... You're just going to be able to run a fucking canteen right here. That's what you get.
A canteen? That's your... A canteen's what you came up with? That's your one magazine.
Yep. One rallyman. You get 3 extra.
We're just going to have to do a 5 column. It's just not going to be even, right? So they're going to get 2 mags. They're going to run it for admin right there, or they're going to run it for ATAC right there, or maybe 2 rifle mags and a pistol. That would bring it 1.5 inches closer. It would function then.
Do you think it would even need to be 2 of them going?
No, just 1. So it'd be 5 columns instead of 6. Now, when you go to edit this out, when you're looking at this, if there's not thumbprints on his glasses, make it look like a penis mushroom head, because that's usually what's on his glasses. I don't know how that motherfucker can see anything. These glasses are always dirty. Whose semen is on you? Is it your own?
Is that semen?
Usually?
Buddy, I piggy bank.
Yeah, I bet you do.
I built this thing from the bottom, they tore it down, I rebuilt it. I give myself a task, you can bet your ass I fulfill it. Yeah, man, I'm talking about Willis, one of the realest to try. My family, SOE, got the tools to survive. I built this thing from the bottom, they tore it down, I rebuilt it. I give myself a task, you can bet your ass I fulfill it. Yeah, man, I'm talking about Willis, one of the realest